The reason we find it difficult to say no to people, the reason we struggle with setting boundaries, if this is a problem that we have, is because deep down we want people to like us. Deep down, we don't want conflict or confrontation. We want to be the nice person. We want to smooth things over. And while there's nothing wrong in wanting to help others or be nice, if our being nice is at the cost of our own mental health, emotional health, or well-being, then it's not the right thing to do. But many of us fail to connect the dots between why we find it difficult to say no and our lack of self-love. And this is how it works. If deep down you don't feel that you're worthy, you feel somehow that you're not good enough, you're going to want to get validation and likes and love and approval from people, other people. Instead of seeking those things from yourself and working on, being happy with who you are, you're going to somehow want people to validate you that you're okay, you're good, you're a nice person, you're a kind person. And this is, in a nutshell, the reason why we people please. We have people pleasing tendencies because we want people to be happy with us, because that is a form of validation. That is a form of us getting approval from someone. But it becomes a problem because we are constantly seeking outside validation. And, the less validation we have from the outside, the more people pleasing we do. And because we don't believe that we are likable, because that is the essence of why we seek outside validation, we want other people to tell us that we're good, we're fine, we're okay, we're likable, we're acceptable, whatever. Because deep down there's this feeling of unworthiness, we have low self-esteem, low self-worth. And because we have low self-esteem and low self-worth, we lack confidence in ourselves. We lack confidence in our own decisions. And therefore, this cycle continues because we then lack confidence in what we are doing or what we want to do, and we don't believe in ourselves, we are constantly seeking this validation from outside. And if you're constantly relying on outside validation, you're constantly worrying about what people think. What will people say? Do people like what I'm doing? Do people like me? Am I accepted in this group? Am I one of the clique? And therefore we end up being caught in this cycle of people pleasing, low self-esteem, low self-worth, lack of self-love, and then back to people pleasing. And therefore, if we want to really tackle this problem, what we need to do is to look at, why don't I love myself? And how can I build my self-esteem so that I'm not relying on validation from outside, so that I am not waiting for people to tell me that I'm okay, so that I can start believing that I am worthy. I can start believing that I am okay as I am. I can start loving myself. So it all starts with self-love. It all starts with self-esteem, or it's all linked to self-love and self-esteem, should I say. And therefore, this is a very good place to start for anybody wanting to do this self-inventory, this self-work, is, do I love who I am? Am I happy with the person I am? Do I seek outside validation from others? Do I worry too much about what other people think? Do I do nice? Am I nice because I want people to like me? And if we don't tackle this, the problem is we will never be able to be free to live our lives as we want, because we're constantly going to be caught in that cycle of, I need to do things that will make people like me. And the more things I do to make people like me, the more people like me, and the more I'll do those things. And we'll just be running around in that cycle. And that's not a healthy cycle. Of course, our lack of self-love, lack of self-esteem, low self-worth may have been caused by trauma, problems in the past, abuse, growing up in a toxic environment, growing up in an unstable environment, growing up with parents that were very toxic or were fighting, were dysfunctional, lots of issues. There could be 1,000,001 reasons why you have low self-worth. But fixing it is a straightforward thing. You don't have to necessarily spend so much time thinking about the past and why am I like this. Now what you're saying is, I don't want to be like this any longer. I don't want this to hold me back. And you start to work on self-acceptance, self-compassion, kindness to yourself, being honest with yourself, because we require, self-inventory requires honesty. I get this a lot with people where they say they have a problem, and in trying to help them fix this problem, you got to get them to a point of self-awareness and self-honesty. And many people struggle with honesty with themselves. We're very, and this is a human thing, we're very quick to point fingers at other people. But when we have to point the finger at ourselves, it's very difficult. So you have to be honest about your struggles, about your problems. You have to see the things that you're doing, the patterns, the habits, the behaviors that you're doing, and be able to say, actually, it looks like I do a lot of people pleasing, or it looks like I don't set healthy boundaries, or it looks like I worry too much about what people think of me, or I behave in a way to make people like me, or it looks like I need a lot of outside validation. And then when you identify that, you can start to do the work. And it's worth mentioning that perfectionism, which a lot of people also suffer from, and imposter syndrome, are all sort of linked again. You see, if we tackle self-love, a lot of our problems will start to unravel. If we tackle self-love, we will start to like who we are, we'll start to accept who we are, and we will start to deal with all the bits that are not working properly. So self-love is the beginning of most of our problems, not all of them. And even if it's not necessarily the beginning, if we can practice self-love, it will help with a lot of other things. I hope you find this helpful. Take care.